What's up, desktopers? Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are back with another video. And in this video today, I speak with 2018 Mr. Olympia trainer of Shawn Rhoden, Chris Psycho Lewis, and we discuss insulin. Is it worthwhile to use in bodybuilding? Does he use it on his clients? Is it the difference in today's physiques that we see on stage? What about fast-acting versus slow-acting insulin, and a whole range of other topics, including if you can actually use it pre-contest or for carbing up. So we've got a ton of info in this video, and I think you guys will really enjoy it. If you appreciate and like this content, please give me a thumbs up and also subscribe and hit that notification bell button. That way you'll be notified of every video that goes up for myself, Xavier Wills, and Desktop Bodybuilding. And also just a quick note as well, I recorded this back late last year, a little bit after I did the interviews with him as well. So you'll notice I am incredibly skinny compared to what I am now, looking chunky in the face. So I hope you guys enjoy this video anyway. Welcome back to Desktop Bodybuilding. I'm Xavier Wills, and today I'm joined by Chris Psycho Lewis, trainer of a Mr. Olympia from a past Shawn Rhoden, also Regan Grimes he's training, and a whole heap of other guys as well. And apparently you're training someone for 2020 Arnold Classic too, which you're not telling us, but anyway, let's launch into this one. And now we're going to be talking about insulin. Does it have a place in bodybuilding, and what do you think of it? Does everyone need it? What do you think about insulin?
Right. So everyone knows that your body produces insulin. So everybody has insulin unless you're a type 1 or a type 2 diabetic. So now insulin is a transporting hormone. So basically it carries the glucose to the cell, into the cell, then it comes about as a form of energy. Now, the people take insulin like Humalog or Lantus or longacting basal insulin. They take that to supercharge their growth. Now, everyone knows if you take growth hormone and then you have an insulin cycle, it's gonna like basically supercharge your growth hormone, which is good. Now, here comes in lies the problem. Insulin creates intermuscular fat. And this is why you don't see as many striated chests anymore. This is why you don't see cross striations in the quad anymore. This is why the biceps and the triceps don't have the cross striations, because they're filled with intermuscular fat. Intermuscular fat, next time you're in a grocery store, go to the red meat aisle and you see the fat on the outside, but you see fat riddled through the veins through, that's intermuscular fat, and insulin is a big promoter of that. So, is insulin has a place? Yes, it does, especially in the carbo phase, especially in the growing phase, but you cannot abuse it. Do not abuse insulin.
What do you think about people using it pre-contest? And I know people that carb up on it and things like that. What do you think of those sort of protocols?
Well, it's very common to carb up on insulin protocol, but you have to know the person has to be lean enough to do that. If the person isn't lean enough, you're gonna spill them over, and you're gonna have this film over. And I'm pretty sure you've seen guys and they have this film over, and the skin looks thick, everything's there, but it's kind of like blurred. That's from using the insulin, and then. In the carbo phase, you have to understand it's a fat storage hormone, and you cannot lose. So let's say insulin in your body. When you eat something for 1 hour, you cannot burn fat because insulin is present in the stomach. So you cannot. So let's say you eat a hamburger and you hop on a treadmill. You're burning calories. You're not burning insulin. So if you're taking insulin throughout the day, you're cutting down on your fat burning capability. So you have to be really careful about it. So people do it, it is used, but you have to get with a really experienced coach to do that. Now, I honestly think that it's actually ruining the bodybuilding. I think it's abused too much. So I would not use insulin during pre-contest. Maybe in a carbo phase, but not in the 15 weeks leading to a show. Not even the person was dipping down too low. I would refeed him and bring him back up, but I wouldn't use insulin for that.
Yeah, for sure. And do you think that all the top guys, like all the guys on the Olympia stage, are using it, or have used it in the off season, or do you think that it's half the guys do, half the guys don't sort of thing?
I think half the guys do it and half the guys don't. Everyone is not losing insulin. They're not. Some guys, even on the Olympia stage, some guys have never used it.
Yeah. Do you think everyone can benefit from it, or do you think it's only for really certain people?
Well, you understand, your body produces insulin. Your pancreas produces insulin naturally. So, of course, you need insulin. But I think that for me and my clients, that I totally advise against it. And the body that it produces, although you will get to where you're going faster, meaning size, but you will distort things and it won't be as good if you took your time getting there. So I don't believe in forcing things that can come holistically.
Yeah, for sure. Now, what's your opinion on like the faster acting insulins versus the slower actings? Because I actually heard from someone that is a trainer, I don't know if they're a trainer at Gold's or somewhere out there in LA, that they actually recommend on their weaker body part days, so to say your weaker body parts is legs and back, on those days you'll do a long acting insulin, smash for carbs, and then you get, hopefully, induce more growth in those body parts. What do you think about that firstly? And what do you think about the long acting versus the fast acting insulins?
Well, now, the long acting is a lot more dangerous, and you got to make sure that you actually have food in you at all time, carbs, not just food, not just protein, but actually carbs and fats, because the carbs will run straight through without fat to slow it down. That is a very common protocol to do if you have a weak body, lagging body part, to take X amount of IUs before and then after training. It is used. I have seen it. It does work. It does work. I'm not gonna lie, I say it doesn't. I'm not a fan of it. So long-acting and short-acting insulin. Short-acting insulin lasts about 30 minutes to 45 minutes, and then you're good. A basal, like Lantus or long-acting insulin, it comes in waves. It comes in waves. So you can take it here, and you can eat, and then it's going to come back, and you got to make sure that you're eating, or you can find yourself on the ground passed out.
Yeah.
So it's for very experienced bodybuilders on a high level, and you can't be very careless. Now they both work, but I'm not an advocate of either. I would just rather training and eating as opposed to taking insulin. I'm not a fan of what it does to the body.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned before, this is sort of not insulin related, but you mentioned about how when guys take insulin and they're not really lean for a contest, they tend to hold fluid, not look the best. I've even found that without insulin, like I know myself, with my last contest, I was by far the least I've ever been, and I carved up really aggressive, and I didn't use insulin or anything like that, and I didn't hold any fluid. And in the past, I feel like I'd carb up with even less than that, and I'd just hold fluid and look crap. Do you see that a lot in guys? That once you get to that level?
What I see a lot in guys, people don't understand between flat and fat. So you can be flat, meaning if muscles can be deflated and the skin can move around, and you may think, hey, I'm holding water or I spilled over, when really you're not full enough for the muscles to push out and get hard against the skin. And that's from keeping an eye on a person weeks and weeks before and never get to that point where you get confused. So you can take in a bunch of carbs, which a lot of times will speed your metabolism. You need top fat on top of that to slow things down. And you have to basically watch the person, feed them, watch them, feed them, watch them till you get the desired effect. And I'm a big advocate of, once we get the water level the right way, actually measuring out the urine and then drinking that back in the form of water.
I was going to say, not drinking the urine.
Not drinking the urine, just drink the water. 2 separate cups.
I actually have heard someone else doing that as well, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. That's a lot of dedication. Because I know for myself, I'm just like, I'll just drink this amount. I'll be good,
Well, we'll get confused. So once we get the thing, we don't want all the water out. We want all the water between the skin and the muscle, but we want the muscle full of water. And the best way to do that is not to take water in when you're eating, because your body, to transfer the carbs over, it needs water. So use the water in your body to do that. And then an hour after, then that's when you take in the fluids once that process is over.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense because the old school mentality back in the day was cut water completely, or you start cutting water from days out and things like that, like really crazy sort of protocols I've heard from even guys back in the 80s and 90s and whatnot. But it sounds like a lot more logical approach that you actually take, and it makes a lot of sense because you need that certain amount of water to actually make the carbs work, because people forget glycogen is water and carbs. It's not just carbs.
And then even diuretics are designed to work with water. Once you stop drinking the diuretics, they stop working. Exactly. Or they work less. So you need waters for the diuretics to work efficiently.
Yeah, and you see people doing crazy things with it. Will take diuretics and then just cut water completely out for days, and it's like, that's not good.
No. You find the water level, find out what looks good, and then replace the water back.
Yeah. So the summary is that you don't actually advise people to use insulin, in general, but there are certain cases where it is beneficial.
Exactly. And there's too much insulin abuse. Sometimes guys think more is better, and really it's not. Just that whatever the amount that you guys agree, stay with that and don't increase it more.
Awesome. Now, how do people contact you if they want to work with you, online or in person?
You can contact me on my YouTube channel, and you can see some of my work, PsychoFitness21, or on Instagram, PsychoFitness21 as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That's Chris Psycho Lewis, trainer of the Mr Olympia Shawn Rhoden in 2018 and trainer of many other top bodybuilders and up-and-comers as well. So thank you very much. That's Chris Psycho Lewis. For Xavier Wills, Chris Psycho Lewis, we are out.